Welcome to Farm Matters program, your premier source of information on best farming practices. Today, we are exploring the crucial role of fertilizers in enhancing soil fertility and boosting crop yields.
Yes, I see them and I advise them to use good fertilizers like chemicals. Yeah, this farm was started a long time ago, but by then I was a telephone farmer. I started way back in '93. Yes, we apply fertilizers, especially on the onset of rains and when the rains are also getting over. Well, there are many varieties of fertilizers. We've been getting them from here and there. But we would get challenges because at times we would get fake fertilizers. So a friend advised me about a new company, a company called Green Pulse. And when I started with a few bags for all the coffee trees, and I applied the fertilizer on those coffees, and the change was immediate. So one of them is this one right behind me, which used to produce only maybe a few. You would find it would be here, but now you can see it is yielding up to the tip. So this shows that we have applied fertilizers and they are working. Yeah, as the saying goes, emwanyi terimba, I would encourage them to go for coffee, but not only plant it and leave it in the field, but to keep an eye on it.
Amazima go gali nti njagala tukkirize nti ettaka likaddiye nakirabukako mangu nze nenkimanya nti ettaka lyali kaddiye ne ntandika okufuna ebigimusa naddala okufuna ebyobusa buno bwaffe obw'ente naye nga okubikungaanya bibeera bizibu ate nga nabwo biteekayo mu kasooli bisooka kwebaka bigenda kutandika kukola nga kasoola ali mu maviivi kati kasooli n'atafuna immunity bulungi kati n'enjiga ate okufuna bino ebya green pulse byo bikolerawo nensobola kufuna kasooli awera kati olw'okugenda nga nkula nasazeewo kudda mu bitooke n'emmwanyi kati byendima era kati teekako ebigimusa era mbisomba wano kakati bwe nawulidde nga ndi ku leediyo nti baleese ebigimusa ebiri organic ebitajja kwonoona ttaka nayanguye nnyo okusobola kujja wano ku ofisi za organic za gundi za green pulse nsobole okuyiga okukozesa ebigimusa ebyo ebiri organic kubanga bijja kukuuma ettaka tebikuume n'obutonde. Mpozi nkubiriza abalimyi bannange mu mazima bategeere nti enanga n'ettaka likaddiye abaana tebajja kusoma nga bakyakola enkola enkadde ebisubi babyokya ensalosalo tebaziteekamu enanga enkuba ng'eno bwejja netwala ettaka ly'okungulu lyonna ettaka nerisigalawo nga takyalina mmere. Kyetaaga abalimyi bafune abalimisa bajje mu misomo bakyukeko.
We visited Green Pulse Limited, a fertilizer blending factory, to learn more about the fertilizer production process.
What normally happens here, since we have a blending facility, we always get there are different blends. Of course, there are two considerations we always do here. One is customized blends, that is based on the soil analysis of a particular farmer. Then the other one is the crop specific, where we look at the crop and its requirement. So when we are doing the crop specific, we look at the crop, how much does it require, how much does it require in terms of kilograms of nitrogen, in terms of kilograms of the phosphate, and in terms of kilogram of the potash. So we analyze that information, and then we come out with a formula whereby we are able to obtain an NPK ratio which suits that requirement. Of course, one of the danger is when you apply fertilizer without knowing what your crop requires. One is you are using resources while not knowing. That means you're going to have a cost implication in terms of losses. Secondly, when you apply fertilizers when you don't know what is required or what your soil needs, there's a danger of soil acidity, increasing the acidity of your soil, and in that it will affect the yield of your crops, because you don't know what is in the soil and you are just applying blindly. But if you know what is in the soil or what your crop requires, then that means you are actually doing something which is suitable for that particular crop. We know that the plants, they require different nutrients. There are those ones which are called the primary nutrients, the secondary, and the trace elements. So basically, our NPK ratio is basically composed of the primary nutrients, that is the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So what normally happens is when after getting what the crop requires, so we go back and calculate in terms of the nutrient ratios, that is the NPK ratios. So to get, for example, the 17-17-17, that one would require us to now go back and see what source of N do we need to get the 17 nitrogen, what source of P do we need to get the 17 phosphate, and what source of K do we need to get the 17 potash. So what normally happens, there are some calculations which we do, yes, in terms of kilograms. Of course, when an NPK is 17-17, that means it is 17% by weight, nitrogen 17% by weight, phosphate 17% by weight, potash. That means if you have a bag of 50 kilograms, 50 kilograms, you multiply it by the 17% across. So that means the 17% of 50 kilogram is 8.5 kilogram of it is nitrogen, 8.5 kilogram of it is phosphate, and 8.5 of it is potash. We have a team of agronomy headed by the head of agronomy and advisory services, which works close hand in hand with the farmers. Of course, farmers, before they do fertilizer application, one, I said, there are those ones which are crop specific fertilizers, and there are those which are soil specific. So the head of agronomy and the agronomy team, they have done what they call field trials in the field with farmers, and they have come up with recommendations of how much we need to apply based on the 4R nutrient stewardship.
So for the fertilizer section, we deal in blended fertilizers, the straight fertilizers, and of course organic and organomineral fertilizers. But specifically here, we're at the blending facility where you're blending customized fertilizer blends using the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium fertilizers to get the NPKs. And then of course, the micronutrients for those who are requiring them for their crops in the different locations of Uganda. But we are guiding the blending with soil testing so that you get to know what exactly is lacking in the soil, and of course, what the crops require in the different locations of Uganda. Yeah, of course, we do work closely with NARO, the National Agriculture Research Organization, where we did multi-locational trials, looking at the different locations and then picking soil samples, analyzing them in Kawanda. But we also, as Growing Pulse, have a unit where we do the soil testing and analysis, where if we are doing West Nile, we pick the samples from there, analyze, get to know what exactly the soil status is, and then we do recommendations, at the same time blend. If you're looking at Kanungu, you're looking at Central Uganda, Western Uganda, we do the same. So we do closely work with the National Agriculture Research Laboratories in Kawanda where we collaborate closely to understand the soil status and then recommend what actually guides our blending here. So we have a capacity of 300,000 metric tons annually, and we produce right for the smallholder farmer, because we even have some special packages for smallholder farmers, especially like in the Uganda Kingdom, where we have an arrangement up to 5 kilograms, but we do bag from 10, 25 to 50 kg. Then for the commercial farms like the oil palm in Kalangala, Sangobe, and Buvuma, of course, the tonnage is much bigger. For the sugarcane Chinyara, where we are supplying a bit of outgrowers in Kakira, the tobacco, Uganda Tobacco Services, and other commercial farms, the volumes also grow bigger. But as we go down to the last mile farmer, we also package according to what the farmer requires. We do over 22 crops. As you can see here, we have the maize blend, but also behind the maize blend, we have the cereal top dress for all the cereal crops. That's the sorghum, millet, rice, barley. And then we have coffee fertilizer. Here, this one is specifically blended. We have for all the coffee farmers in Uganda, but we have a specific project we are doing with the Uganda Kingdom, as you can see here. We also have banana fertilizer. That's for all the banana, plantain, the ordinary banana, and the like. We also have something for the Uganda Kingdom, as you can see here, but we do also for the whole country. And then tomato, for those who are interested in fertilizers for tomato and horticulture in general, for the eggplant, the cabbages, and the like. But we also do for other crops like the cassava and the sweet potato fertilizer, as you can see. And then we also do for the commercial farms, like I mentioned, tobacco, tea, we have oil palm right behind us for both Kalangala, Sangobe, and the Buvuma Island.
We are excited to launch a new organic fertilizer, Pronova product, specifically designed for the international horticulture industry. This organic mineral product is an innovation by Marura Protein Limited and the Grain Pulse companies.
So we have launched 2 products on the market, which is one Pronova Power Grow and also Pronova Organic Boost. There are 2 products. The Organics Boost is strictly organic. For those farmers who say, for us, we are organic certified, we don't want to use anything synthetic, we have designed for them that product. And for those who say, no, it's okay, I don't mind, I can use a little bit of the synthetic bit, that's the Power Grow, which has urea in it. Yes, so these products on market will be good for ourselves, will be good for our yields. For all those farmers out there, I encourage them to come and use them so that they can see the benefits in them. I encourage them to come at our facilities. We have different outlets in Uganda. One of the places here where we are right now is the Mubende outlet. So if any farmer or any other individual has any inquiries regarding the application, please come to our shops, and then you'll be able to be supported and be guided on anything that you would like.
Yeah. Pronova is a new innovation by Grain Pulse in partnership with Protein. And what we are looking at is improving the fertilizer regime for crops. We are not looking at only giving nutrients, but improving the soil as well. Pronova is a new product which looks at building the soil physical properties on top of providing the nutrients. Fertilizer application is a very important issue in agriculture, because every time that you farm and harvest your produce, you're mining the nutrients in the soil. So ideally, those nutrients that you've removed from the crop have to be replaced. That's why it's important to apply fertilizers. But what we are now looking at is a sustainable fertilizer and how to do the farming sustainably. Pronova will help will make your farming more sustainable, in that it improves the soil, so your soil will be able to support your crops for a much longer time. It's in terms of profitability, first and foremost, the price is very, very low. It's very affordable for an ordinary farmer. And secondly, it's also made from products which are locally available. So we are reducing waste in the environment, which is good for the environment. Yes, Pronova is available already at Grain Pulse. And as Grain Pulse, we work through a model that we have hubs, regional hubs, where the farmers can go to the different Grain Pulse hubs and access these fertilizers. But we also have a chain of distributors who are very much closer to the farmers. So you can reach to your favorite agro dealer.
The District Agriculture Officer Mubende Sebugwawo George says the unveiling of the organic fertilizer brand by Grain Pulse is a key ingredient to the mathematics of production and productivity of farming as a business.
We know it is going to boost our productivity, because without productivity, our farmer cannot maximize profit. In most cases, farmers complain of low prices of the produce, and yet to maximize the profit, you must produce a lot from a given unit of land. So previously we were talking about production, but now we have moved from production to productivity, because productivity analyzes how much do you get from a unit area. So the higher the produce, the lower the cost of production. And when the cost of production is low, it means at any price you sell, you maximize profit. And that one puts the farmer on the rewarding side in the market, which is a very key component to an agriculture extension worker like me. So I want to call upon the farmers to keep answering questions. What can I do to have good yield? What can I put in my garden to have good yield? How best can I prepare my produce to have good quality, to attract a good buyer, to have a good bargaining power? To also encourage our farmers to work in groups, because when you're in a group, you accumulate a big volume from the efforts of the many members, which now gives the farmer bargaining power, and all the money which would be spent by the trader looking for small volumes from different areas, that money goes to the farmer, because the produce is found at one place, which is called the bulking of produce, and which is our way to go. I want also to encourage farmers to emphasize the issue of soil testing, so that we can identify clearly the mineral nutrients which are available in a given soil, so that now when we go to the shops to buy, we buy only that nutrient which is missing, and that one puts us at a higher level in farming. Previously it was there. Farmers used to think when they use fertilizers, especially those which are artificial, that they spoil their soils. But what is important is expeditious use, where the farmer has to be trained by the extension worker. He knows the quantity to apply at a given point, so that when there is proper application, the fertilizers have no problem, as long as they are applied properly. But if they are not applied properly, that's when they can spoil.
One, yes. Two, no. Yes is because you find most of the farmers are facing those challenges. When they do the audits for them, they find a lot of residues and all that. So we try to study that and make products that are as friendly as possible to that kind of market, targeting that kind of market. So when we talk of an organomineral here, we're looking at things like rock phosphate, which is naturally extracted, doesn't go through any chemical reaction. We're looking at the potassium products from Kepler in Germany. We're looking at the black soldier fly. We also have another product which is made out of poultry manure, but also blended with these other organic products, so that the crop itself can really benefit with all those nutrients. At the same time, if an audit is done, there's no contamination found at all. Secondly, it's not just about the market externally that is auditing. We're also looking at the experience we had during COVID. During COVID, there was challenges of bringing in raw materials, especially from out of Uganda. So we're like, what other next best option can we have to respond to that? So we had to think of how to utilize the available natural resources especially in terms of organic, so that a farmer can at least start at that level and then upgrade later on. That's why we also accompany it with soil testing, so that you can know your soil pH levels. If it's getting too acidic, we recommend at least some organic product or then alkaline product. I mean, to also reduce alkalinity through sulfur products. Still, again, you need an organic product to do that. So it's being innovative as time moves on, and from experiences we are facing in this industry of agriculture. Not only about fertilizer, it's also about knowledge. Farmers need to understand these things, because we provide the extension services. We are working alongside government. We're working also as a private industry to. That's why we have an agronomy and advisory unit where we train the village agents, the youth, so as we can pass this knowledge to as many farmers as possible. Once they realize the benefits, that's why you see at almost every section, whether government or no government, every farmer is going for soil testing to understand the soil status. Every farmer is looking at inputs to use so as to grow the production. So with years to come, we shall see also the fertilization levels increasing. Currently, it's about almost, it's coming almost to 5% per hectare application of fertilizer. You know, it's growing, it's growing, although they always say 3. It's about 5, at least some study we did some time back.
Fertilizers play a vital role in enhancing soil fertility and boosting crop yields. By using the right fertilizers and following proper application and management practices, farmers can improve their productivity and profitability.